Today we're going to test the Cerakote Headlight Restoration Kit. The kit costs under $20 and you can get it at Amazon, Walmart, and most auto parts stores. They claim it will restore cloudy headlights. I tried another kit from Harbor Freight on my other car and I was not really too thrilled with the result. So today I've got a great headlight to try it on. This is my wife's car and her left headlight is very cloudy. The right side is clear, but that's because it was replaced, but we're still going to do the same thing to it. You're supposed to be able to do 2 headlights, so let's see what we get in the box. All right, first thing I see is instructions, and we will be following these instructions, to be fair to Cerakote. Next we pull out the oxidation remover. There's 4 pads, 8 pads total, 4 pads per headlight. Then we get the step 3 pad, which is the ceramic clear coating, which would be the last step in our process. And finally, we get a sanding pad and 4 pieces of sandpaper, 2 each, and the burgundy color here is 2000 grit, which we'll use first, and the green pad here is the 3000 grit, which we'll use second. And finally, they give us some black gloves. Looks like 2 pair of black gloves to use when we're applying chemicals, so it's good that we have those. So before we start, you first have to clean the lens with soap and water, which I've already done. The second part is I recommend that you tape all the way around the lens, so you're protecting your paint from not only the sandpaper but also the chemicals that we're going to use. However, Cerakote does say if you do get some of the chemical on, just wipe it off and it shouldn't affect your paint or anything. So we will watch that as we use the chemicals. We're now ready to put the first step on, the oxidation removal pads. So we're now going to apply this in a circular and scrubbing motion, and then we'll change pads once they become yellowed and soiled, and hopefully we'll be able to see something here. So let's get started doing that. It is pretty yellowed there. Just kind of moving this around. Alright, so that one's pretty dirty. So we'll grab another one here. And we'll grab the next one. I'm still getting some oxidation. The fumes aren't really that bad either, so that's kind of nice. And finally, the last pad. This is all I've got. And there's not really too much oxidation now on this pad. Okay. And now the last step will be to wash it with water, and we'll clean that up right now. This is after step 1. This is after step 1. Okay, now that the first step is done, we're going to move on to step 2, which is the sanding part of it. And one note on step 1, even though my right side headlight was clear, it looked clear, it was actually, I was surprised at how much it yellowed those pads. So even it being clear, it still took oxidation off of that one headlight over there. So now we're going to sand the headlight, and the instructions say to not go in a circular motion. We're going to go in a back and forth motion across. The other thing we're going to be doing is wet sanding. So it's really important that we keep water on the lens as well as water on the pad. And to use the little sanding pad here, we just push the piece of sandpaper that's on. It's got kind of like a Velcro setup, and we'll be ready to go. So let's start sanding. Okay, let's apply some water and start sanding. Hopefully you saw all that. I don't know if I was blocking when I was sanding. I'm trying not to, trying to show you the sanding part. It does look a little bit clearer. They say you're supposed to sand for about 2 to 3 minutes. So that's what I did. So now we're going to switch over to the 3000 grit and do it again for another 2 to 3 minutes. So here we go. All right, that's about it. And now I'm just gonna wash it off, dry it. So now I'll go do the other headlight. All right, well, step 2 is complete, and it says your headlight should have a clouded or frosty appearance. And if they don't, then you have to do more surface prep in the areas that look shiny. So far my headlight looks pretty cloudy. I'm pretty happy with that. And this one over here kind of has the same thing. Actually, I was hesitant to do that. When I put the 2000 on it, it looked like I dulled it. So it looks good now, and the last step is going to be to apply the ceramic coating. And they say it's extremely important to make sure that the headlights are dry for the last step. So we're going to move the car out into the sun for a bit and let it dry, take off the tape, and then we'll apply the last coat. Alright, the car's been sitting out in the sun and it looks pretty dry to me. So now, just taking a picture here of what the headlight looks like, and if you can see, it is cloudy. And it'll be interesting to see what happens here. This headlight here looks a lot more scratched, probably because I did that. I'm thinking maybe I shouldn't have done that one, sanded that one. But we'll see what the coating does to it now. Okay, now that the headlights are dry, we're going to apply the last step, the ceramic coating. We'll use the last pair of gloves, and the instructions say to wipe it from top to bottom with one motion across, working your way down and doing about a 50% overlap on the wipe that you did previously. So we'll go ahead and do that. They also say you're supposed to be in the shade. Well, we're in the garage, so that's not going to matter. And let's just see what it looks like. Alright, so we're ready to put on the last coat. This is a little stinky. They say to only apply once, so that's all we did. And we'll see how that works out. Now I'm going to go do the other headlight. Well, there you have it. The headlight is now clear again, and I gotta say I'm pretty impressed by it. So now that we've waited over an hour though, it looks really good actually. When you get up close to it, I can still see some scratches. Not really some cloudiness. It's mainly around this part here, which maybe was a little harder to sand because this part bumps out. But for as far as being clear, this is 100% better than the one that I tried at Harbor Freight. And I mean, it really is clear, and the other side over there is just as clear. And I'll take some photos again of our pictures of the before and after. So I tell you, this Cerakote, it's worth your under 20 bucks. I forget exactly what I paid. It was somewhere between $17 and $20. but I definitely think it's worth it. Now we'll just have to see how long it's going to last. They say it'll last for as long as you have the car. I don't know if that's really true, but we'll see. So thanks for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.